Guys, and welcome back to a new episode. Let's get straight to it. First off, Eid Mubarak to everyone who's celebrating today. Now it's a big day, big celebrations. Hope you enjoy it. But yeah, the first topic is on the back of that. So it's Eid today, and yesterday night, Matt Hancock came out and he was like, in certain parts of the UK, you can't intermingle with other families. So you can't have another family coming over to your house and socializing with them. They wanna put that restriction on. And he labelled those areas. So the areas were like Greater Manchester, Kirklees. Basically these kind of areas up north are highly populated by, they have quite a few Muslims in those areas. And the fact that he came out with that like a couple of hours before, like literally like a day before it was going to be Eid, is highly suspect. Like a lot of people are, flipping out thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing? Because at the end of the day, they've still kept pubs open. They've still kept like restaurants open. And when you go into those, you meet other people, you intermingle with other people. And he was like, you can still do that. However, you can't go to other people's families. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know about Eid, but Eid is, it's celebrated by Muslims, and it's basically like Christmas. It's the equivalent of Christmas. So you wake up, you do your prayers, you make food, you enjoy it with family, and then other members of your other family come over to your house and you celebrate with them, you exchange gifts, you have a laugh, you socialize. It's a really joyous moment. And the fact that he came out a day before saying you can't go to other people's houses, it's kind of fuckery, man. A lot of people were highly suspecting him of like, yo, why the fuck have you been doing this? Is it because it's going to be Eid? Is it because it's Eid and you're trying to piss everyone off? But he came out, he was like, oh no, I want to congratulate people on Eid, and that wasn't my intention, but we need some kind of lockdown because there's cases that are rising in those areas. But if you look at the statistics, like you really examine the numbers, you'll notice that, I'm not saying all the places that he listed, like he basically listed Manchester and a few like towns and cities in the north of the UK. Now, some of them I do agree, like it's got a little bit bad. There's been a rise in cases, but not all of them. Like not all of them, and you can see that by the statistics as well. Like there's other places in the UK where they have higher rates of infection than the places that Matt Hancock listed as he wanted to, basically ban people from visiting other people's houses. So he got questioned about that by BBC News, I believe, like a reporter from BBC News. But you know how it is, like these main news corporations, they never actually ask the hard hitting questions. They're just there to lick someone's ass and ask him the easy questions, and that's it. They'll call the interview off. In that respect, like I wish sometimes that I'd have the opportunity to like have these guys who make these kind of rules, not just on this lockdown, but any kind of politician that takes certain actions. I'd want to question them, because I don't know if you guys ever noticed, like whenever they question a politician and he's on the TV, like they'll ask him a question and he'll never answer it straight out. Like they'll never answer it straight up. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Like they always try to find a side way out of the question, or try to answer the question with another question. Like it'll be the simplest question ever, like, okay, yeah, so you know why you put in, why was the UK put on lockdown late? And they could answer it simply, like if they said something like, okay, we would like to apologize to the UK public, we reacted too late to the lockdown, and that's why we're trying to make up for things. I think the UK public would look more much more favorable to them in those kind of instances. Instead of them, when they ask that kind of question, they're like, oh yeah, so we took the action, this and that. They just try to par it off. They just try to bullshit themselves out of it, which is mad. But even with these restrictions, there's people all over the UK celebrating it. If you live in an area where you can go and visit your family's house, enjoy it with them as much as you can. If you're in an area where you can't, do you. That's all I'm going to say. You do you. But do it safely. Look after yourself. Look after your family. Just make sure that no one's in harm's way and you're always safe. Now, a really interesting thing that I was reading quite recently, that I've seen quite recently as well, was about Solo 45. Now, who is Solo 45? Solo 45 is a grime artist from the UK, more specifically from London. He's part of BBK, Boy Better Know. It's like a group where, you know, you have like Skepta, JME, Frisco, Jammer. He was part of that group, and he made quite a few like catchy songs, like, you know, a few years ago, and then he got caught for rape. So apparently there was this big like there's big, like, you know, what could I say? How could I put this into words? There is like big uproar in the music industry. Let's just say that you know, he got he back then when he got caught, he didn't get convicted of it. He got arrested, and the police came out with, this is going back a few years ago, I believe about a year or 2 years ago. He got caught, and he got put under investigation for raping. I believe it was, he raped quite a few women. Like, he held them like in harm's way. So he held them as hostages, and, like, you know, he raped them. And so there's a lot of uproar, you know, from the general community, like the general public and other music artists. That were like, why isn't anyone like speaking up about this? Why isn't anyone like going against this, like speaking up? Like, more people need to speak up about people like this. We know he's part of the music scene in the UK, but when someone fucks up, you need to speak up about it. And a lot of people back then, especially artists, what they came back with was, you know, he's under investigation, he hasn't been convicted, so we're going to wait until he gets convicted of the offense to make sure it's legit, and then, you know, we'll see what happens. And now finally yesterday he got convicted of it, and he got jailed for 23 years. And what I say to that is, good riddance, man. At the end of the day, he was, you know, he made some catchy tunes, and but if you're moving like that, you know, if you're doing foul shit like that, you know, raping women, you deserve life in prison. Never mind 23 years, but life in prison. But 23 years is a good start, to be honest. And I believe he's in his 30s, so by the time he gets out, he'll be in his like late 50s, mid to late 50s. So, you know, hopefully he learns from that, and let's see what prison does to him. But it'll be interesting to see who comes out who comes out against this now. What I mean by that is, it'll be interesting to see his peers and his, you know, his friends, and who are quite popular on social media, who are music artists themselves. Like, it'd be quite, you know, interesting to see how they come out against it, even if they do come out against it. I personally think no one's going to say anything about it. Like, so far I've only seen a few people in the music industry, UK music industry, like really say something against it, and, you know, congratulate the legal system for doing a job, and him getting locked up in prison for 23 years. But then again, it's only been a day or two since this news broke, so let's give it a week and see what happens. But hopefully, you know, at the end of the day, no matter what kind of industry anybody is in, no matter what kind of place anybody is in, if you do some foul shit, you deserve to be fucking locked up for a long time, and, you know, it deserves to be spoken against as well. So let's see what happens in respect of that. And talking of courts and, you know, the legal system, it's quite popular. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial came to an end. So what happened? Now, if you don't know what happened, I'm sure everyone knows who Johnny Depp is. You know, Pirates of the Caribbean and all that shit, etc. And then Amber Heard, she came in Aquaman. So this was about a year or 2 years ago. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, they filed for divorce, and when they filed for divorce, it was quite public, because they are two public figures, they're big ass movie stars, so like a lot of the public eye is on them. So when they filed for divorce, Amber Heard came out against Johnny Depp, and she was like, you know, he was abusing her and basically fucking kicking shit out of her, and, you know, domestic violence against her. and that's why she decided to divorce him. And there was like this big media scandal. Like a lot of people started going against Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, he's one of his most famous movies he's known for is Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's one of those movies that he's had the most roles in as well. He's appeared in quite a few of those movies, like as a leading actor. And so he got dropped from Pirates of the Caribbean, and God knows whatever, like whichever other movies he got dropped from, or TV series, or any other endorsements he got dropped from, all because of that. So it affected him quite financially. And then there was all these articles, all these news articles that wrote a lot of shit about him. They basically dragged his name through the mud, like calling him an abuser, and then all these people on Twitter were going against him as well, calling him a woman beater and everything. And then he decided to file a libel lawsuit against Amber Heard. Now, what a libel lawsuit is if basically someone chats shit about you in the public eye, but it's not true. It basically makes your reputation go down the drain, and you can't get any jobs, you can't make money from it. You can file for that if you believe none of those characteristics fit your description. So the fact that he filed for this lawsuit against Amber Heard shows you basically where his mindset was. Like, he believed himself not to be the aggressor. So everyone originally thought, Amber Heard, okay, she might be chatting shit and none of that happened, but no one thought that it was actually Amber Heard who was kicking the fuck out of Johnny Depp. And he had all these like recordings on his phone and videos and audio, and she basically, she basically threw a bottle at him, and he ripped his little fucking finger off, like nearly ripped his little pinky finger off. She kicked fuck out of him, she beat him up, and she even admitted it over these recordings, like, admitting to it that she hit him and she did this to him and that to him. So they both went to court. The court was held in London. It was in the High Court, and finally it came to an end, and they're trying to come to a conclusion. They're trying to come to a finalization, a judgment, and hopefully you're gonna see that in a few days or a couple of weeks, and see what see who the court sides with as well. But if you go on social media like Instagram and Twitter, like it's pretty one-sided. Like, a lot of people were in support of Johnny Depp. Like, they didn't really think he actually even touched Amber Heard. He might have like screamed at her and like shouted at her because he wasn't in the right frame of mind. But everyone's thinking like Amber Heard was chatting shit, and she made all this shit up so she could get more publicity. And at the end of the day, she did get a lot more publicity. Like, her name went up there, like in the public's eyes. In these kind of situations, it always does. Like, you get much more noticed by people who maybe weren't fans of you before, but they might be able to look at you from their perspective and think, oh, she was with an abusive husband and he did this and that too. We should stick together and support her. Which, if it comes out true that she was doing that, it's some foul play, and that needs to stop, to be honest. Like, there's always this two-sided, there's always this two-sided discrepancy. What I mean by that is, like, if a woman's ever accused of beating a man up, it's always laughed off. It's not taken seriously. Like, it's always put to a side. And, they're like, oh, how could a woman beat a man? How could they do this? How could they do that? Be a man, be a man. And it's always brushed under the carpet. However, if it's done in the opposite way, where a man's accused of beating a woman up, all hell breaks loose. People flip, you get taken to court, you get disgraced online, you can get put in jail, fined. And if you're in the public eye, if you're like, if you got a company, if you make movies, if you got endorsements, you lose all of those, you lose a lot of friends. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying that should be any less. Like, if a man just put hands on a woman, 100% he should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But the thing is, if it's the opposite way around, if a woman puts hands on a man, it should be exactly the same. They should have exactly the same rules. It should be taken in exactly the same seriousness, and they should get fucked over for it. But that's my 2 pennies on that. Let me know what you guys think. And another bit of interesting news that's happened, and this made me laugh quite a lot. Now, Tommy Robinson, a far-right activist, founder of the EDL, fucking hates Muslims, And so what happened is, let's go back a little bit. Now, when George Floyd got killed by a police officer in America, there was protests all over the world. Like, everyone around the world was in uproar, and it brought a lot of issues up as well, like, the black community not getting treated right by the police, and because of that there was a lot of protests. And one of the biggest protests was in UK and in London as well. So this is when they were going around and they're holding up BLM signs, and that statue in Bristol got taken down as well. And what Tommy Robinson did is he went online and he made a short little video where he's flipping, absolutely flipping, not giving any regards to any Black Lives Matters. And he's the one who incited all these people, all these far right people to come to London, and have all these clashes with with the Black Lives Matter people and Antifa. So after that video went viral, he came back on and he was like, I wasn't in the right frame of mind, and I'm not going to be coming here on, I'm not going to say anything else about it, this and that. But to be honest, the damage was done. He gave people his what he really thought and meant at that time. And the people who follow him loved it, and the people who never knew about him and thought he might have been an okay guy found out his true colors. And because of that, he got a lot of backlash, both over the news and both from the general public, especially from the ethnic minority public. And so his apparently he made a video a couple of days ago, and he was like, his wife's house nearly got firebombed, and because of that he was relocating to Spain because he didn't feel he was safe in the UK. And a lot of people found that funny as fuck, because at the end of the day, he's been, God knows however long he's been doing, he's doing his dumb ass shit, but he's always been against immigrants, when they come over to this country and they stay over this country, and when they're fleeing from persecution, and when a refugee's circumstances in their own country aren't safe for them, they want a better life, so they come over here. And Tommy Robinson was all against that. And what happened was, the guy himself now, Tommy Robinson, he's fleeing to Spain because his life's in danger in the UK. How fucking funny is that? That's what you gotta say, like, ain't karma a bitch? Because all your life you've been against refugees and immigrants, and at the end of the day, you've actually turned into one. You've decided to run off to Spain as a refugee because you believe your life's in danger. It just shows you, like really, when you see this kind of shit, it just shows you what goes around comes around. Like, he was like, fuck it, I can't stay here anymore, I need to get out. I'm gonna chip. I'm not gonna risk it anymore. I'm just gonna make a move. And that's it, he was out of here. But let's see how it goes. Let's see if he's welcomed in Spain. At the end of the day, with the shit he was saying, and plus he was he was for the UK leaving the European, the whole European collective. He was one of the main activists behind Brexit. He didn't want the UK to be part of Europe, and at the end of the day, after all the damage has been done, he wants to go back into a European country and live there. I just hope he gets treated how he's treated other people, and the government over there see what kind of person he is, and basically treat him how he should be treated, which is with disrespect, because he's disrespected a lot of people all around the world over and over again. But that's a little bit of fuckery. So it just shows you, innit, at the end of the day, what happens. But anyway, how's everyone doing? What have you been up to? Been talking about a lot of shit. What has been going on? What else has been going on? Champions League. I don't know if a lot of people, a lot of my fans, actually like football. And I don't mean American football, I mean, like, what football should be used for, like UK football, basically. British football. World football, basically. It's not in British. Like, everyone apart from America calls football how it should be used. You kick a ball with your foot, and then in America they just, you guys just fuck it up. But I still respect it, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I do like that kind of American football as well. Does get quite exciting. But yeah, Champions League. So it's been quite successful. So quite a few British teams have qualified for the Champions League. Like the ones that we knew that would get there, like clubs like Tottenham, Man City, Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool are going to get in there. What else was there? Chelsea as well. Like, they've all gotten through the Champions League and they're going to start facing off soon. The games are going to start beginning soon, which is going to be quite exciting. I believe the first game's on the 7th of August. But who do you guys think is going to win the Champions League? It could be Liverpool because they always have well, I think within the UK they've got the record of, winning the most Champions Leagues ever. And on top of that, they've just won the Premier League. So if they go on to win the Champions League, fuck me, that club will skyrocket. Like from what they've come from, like for not winning the Premier League for God knows how many years, and they won it under Jurgen Klopp, and then they go on to win the Champions League. It'll just make that club in like another tire. Like, and everyone will start fucking, loving Jurgen Klopp at the end of the day. Like, if they do, well, what he's done right now by winning the Premier League has already put him, at a certain standing. Like, because he's pulled off some of that other managers couldn't do for years and years and years whilst managing Liverpool, and he actually allowed them to win the Premier League. So if he wins the Champions League, he can be on a roll, and let's see how he goes. I believe he's got like another 4-year contract with Liverpool to be the manager. He signed it quite recently as well, so hopefully he can take the club to new heights. And that's me. Like, I'm not even a Liverpool fan. I don't support Liverpool, but you gotta, you gotta pay the respects where respects are due. Like the things, like the moves they pulled off. No club, like from where they've come from as well, like nearly from the bottom, and the shit they've pulled off. It's fucking amazing. Like you can't deny it. Like at the end of the day, if they're going to win the Champions League, it'd be quite sick. Like, can you just imagine that? But let's see how the games go. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And apparently it's going to be a heat wave this weekend. Like today's Friday the 31st of July, and let me tell you, in the UK it is hot as fuck. Really hot. Really hot. And apparently, they're gonna keep saying that it's gonna keep getting hotter and hotter, which I don't mind, to be honest. Living in the UK, whenever you get the sun, is something you just gotta enjoy. You gotta enjoy it as much as possible. And because at the end of the day, we might get sun for 1 or 2 days, and then it's gonna go back to the shitty UK weather, raining, windy, and all that kind of shit. But one interesting thing that I found as well, I was on Twitter, and I believe it was trending a few days ago. Now it was about Ellen DeGeneres show. Now I probably fucked up her last name, DeGeneres, whatever. Ellen DeGeneres, whatever the fuck, however the fuck you say it. But if you don't know who she is, she's like a TV show host. Like she does these shows in America where she interviews celebrities and such. And her public demeanor is always like smiley, happy. Like she seems like a sweet lady. And over the years, it's not something recent, but it's got really popular quite recently. Like a lot of people over the years have come out against that. What they've said is like she seems sweet and kind and happy and all that, but behind the camera, out of the public's eye, she's a fucking bitch. Like she basically like tells all her assistants that they can't look at her, they can't smile at her, they can't speak to her. Like she's proper stuck up, and she has all these demands. And really recently, like a lot of people have started coming out to it. Like she's been accused of sexual harassment, bullying producers, and harassing her staff It's fucking like, it's crazy, like the amount of shit that's been coming out against her as well. And apparently they've started like an internal probe, but at the end of the day, nothing's gonna come out of it, because she's one of like the TV network she works for. She makes them a shitload of money, and when they say this internal probe and everything, we all know what it means. It just means that they say it for the public because they want the public to be aware that the TV network's taking some kind of action. But at the end of the day, they're not gonna really, they're not really do anything. They'll just do a little report, publish it to the public, and then most likely Ellen will come out with an apology, and that will be the end of it. But let's see what happens with it. And guys, that's the end of this week's episode. Like usual, follow me on Twitter at Talking with F1, Instagram Talking with F. I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple, I'm on many different podcast websites. So if you're on there and you listen to them, I appreciate the listens. Spread the word, get your friends to listen as well. Rate my episodes, hopefully all 5 stars. Go on my YouTube channel, Talking with F Podcasts. Listen to me on there. Subscribe, like, and comment. The more likes and comments and subscribers I get, the more episodes I can release, and the more interesting topics I can keep giving you guys. Wherever you're listening from, hope you have a good day. Enjoy yourself. See you next week. Bye.